I was buying some stuff at Shoppers Drug Mart in Toronto, and I happened to have a short conversation with the cashier. During the interaction, I learned that she was studying at the same university as me, the University of Toronto. So she asked me, what is your program at the university? And I told her that I'm in computer science. And she was impressed. She told me you must be really smart, and say that she only does English at the university. I looked at her, I was like, you must be also very smart. English is really hard. She didn't believe me though. She told me, you're just saying that to make me feel good. I reassured her I wasn't. And I really wasn't, because I know just how hard English is. To put it into perspective, of all the classes I did in high school, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, computer studies, all of that, English was my lowest score. So I kind of respect English. And I remember doing poetry, and I think it was Shakespearean poetry or something like that. I didn't understand a single thing that poem was talking about, let alone the analysis that they wanted me to do. Then we had sections on literary appreciation or something like that. I still don't understand what all that was about. So English was hard for me. And I had been told a lot of times that if you are in STEM, like if you're good in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you're smart. But if you're good in history, religious education, languages, and all that, then you're dumb. But I would ask myself, why am I not getting 98 in English while I have a 90 in math, while I have a 92 in physics, and an 88 in biology? If being a science student makes me smarter than an art student, then I should be getting the higher grades in the arts. It should be an easy walkover for me, but it's not. And I had realized that at a very young age, however smart people called me because I was doing well in sciences, I had some envy towards art students. And the greatest envy I had was for those people who could draw. Because I remember at 7 years old, I had a friend who was a couple years older than me, and he was a great artist. He liked drawing cars. And I would look at his drawing and be like, why can I not be able to draw a car like this guy? Why does everything I draw look like a, a bad sketch? Well, this guy just produces masterpieces. And he didn't learn it from anyone. No one taught him how to draw. He just has this eye that he just looks at stuff and is able to put it down on paper with a pencil. He looks at a tree and is able to position everything on the paper in 2D. It's an amazing talent. It's a great gift that I never knew how to utilize. But even with all my prestige and pride in sciences and wanting to draw, there's something else that I thought was cool, and that was learning a new language. And I thought I would be great at it. Everyone said it was easy. The art students were saying it is easy. I think that's something the art students also don't understand. Like the way we as science students see the arts is the same way they see our sciences. They look at what they're doing and feel like it's easy. And we look at what we are doing and feel like it's easy, but it's difficult for the two sides to come together. So I decided to take up French in uni. I was doing two majors, computer science and physics, and a minor in French. And guess which one I quit first? I mean, in the end, I ended up quitting all of them because I didn't graduate. But French was the first thing I quit. And I quit it after midterm. The midterms came, and I had studied. I had studied for as much as I could. And I was in there just waiting to pass because this is an easy course. At least that's what everyone is saying. It's an easy course, so it should be easy. But guess what? I got a 25%. That's the lowest grade I've ever seen on a paper in my entire life as a student. For the 15 years I had been studying, I had never seen a lower grade on my paper. And to make matters worse, it's not like the other people are getting 12 and 11% because that would just uh, that would just make the exam hard. Like if people are getting 9 and 10%, then we could just say the exam was hard. But the second lowest person in that exam from me had 60%. That is a 35% difference between me, the last person, and the second last person. The problem was obviously not the exam. The problem was not the students. The problem was me. I was not getting these things. And I will not tell you that I was studying less than I was studying for my programming classes. I was spending almost the same amount of time studying for both. But when the midterm for programming comes, I have an 80%. But when the midterm for French comes back, I have a 25%. The lecturer didn't even know what to do with my grade. She wrote a sad face next to my grade. Then asked me, what's wrong? Is there anything that I can help you with? And I looked at everything and I'm like, I did my best. That was actually my best. I know it might not seem that way, but it was actually the best I could do. And I had to drop out of French. I dropped out very early, the first semester. I didn't even finish the first semester. Then I later decided that, you know what, Spanish is easier. Maybe I will manage this one. So I enrolled for Spanish, and things didn't go as well either. If you ask anyone who is good at languages, any languages, they will tell you Spanish is one of the easiest languages you could learn. And as a Kenyan, it sounds a lot like Swahili. The way you write things is the way you read them. French has this thing where there are so many silent letters, like at the end, in the middle, in the beginning. Then there are these apostrophes. I don't know what they're called. I just call them apostrophes that modify how the letter is pronounced. Then they have this weird R that looks like you're getting out some stuff out of your throat. So French is a bit complicated, though it's not the most complicated languages. There are more complex ones. But Spanish is like the easiest. So I expected to pass. But guess what? The final exams come. I did it for a whole year. The final exams come and I have a whooping 38%. As I told you, the F starts at 50. So that was an F in Spanish. And getting an F means I could not proceed to the next class. I had to repeat that class for another whole year. And it's only after doing Spanish 100 for 2 years that I was able to get a 60%. That's a failure, I will tell you. And I continued doing Spanish for 4 good years. And let me tell you, today, I can't tell you a full sentence in Spanish. I can't understand a conversation in Spanish. I read subtitles and I understand one or two words, but I can't put them in together to form a complete message. I just can't. I'm just that bad at learning languages. I looked at others, Arabic, Portuguese, Italian. I wanted to learn those too, but I was like, if Spanish is too hard for me, these other ones are obviously impossible. So my instinct that uh, art students are just built different. I know it started at a very young age by that kid drawing better than me, but it's being reinforced every time. I was doing poorly in history. I was doing poorly in religious education. I, I, I was doing better with rocks and uh, some some geography where the rocks and soil layers are involved. That's the kind of stuff that my brain would retain. So it was hard. It was hard. It was really hard. And as far as English is concerned, I would say like I've been doing English for the last. I did English for 12 years, primary school and high school, and also everything in uni was English. So this is about 16 to 17 years of learning English, and I would say I'm at about 80% fluent. And my accent is not the best, but I'm doing okay. Other than languages and drawing and all that, obviously those are the ones that mesmerized me a lot. I decided to do a course in equity studies. Equity studies. I also did a class in philosophy of religion. I also did a seminar class. I did all those things. And I realized these art students have some talents we don't have. First, in the seminar class, there was supposed to be a presentation. You could present on anything. I presented on technology because that's what I'm best at. And I had everything right. Like I had all my research right. I did a very nice slideshow and everything like that. And I had probably organized my presentation better than anyone in that class. But it came to presenting and talking. Talking was a problem. Putting my thoughts into words was a problem. Because the art of speaking is something that comes naturally to an art student. They know how to put words together. They know what words follows another better than a science student, I would say. I would even go as far as to say they have some emotional intelligence. They may not have a very good presentation. They may not have a very good understanding of the science or technology or engineering or mathematics behind what they're talking about, but they know how to say something that resonates with the crowd. They know how to speak. That's what I'm talking about. I did some classes in African studies, which is essentially international relations. And when it comes to arts, science and science and engineering and mathematics deal with facts. 1 plus 1 is always 2. 2 times 4 is always 8, or whatever the number is. Like computers use binary, we don't use anything else. And the way you multiply the binary or add the binary is the same every time. We know what the mouth does during digestion. We know what the stomach does during digestion. We know about gravity. Like it's facts. Like there's little debate. I know some of them have debates, but these are not opinions. They're not subjective terms. They are objective things that have been studied and researched. But what I realized about when I was doing the course in international relations of Africa at that time, and also in the other class on equity studies, I realized subjectivism, if I were to use that word, like understanding subjective opinions and trying to put them together. Like being able to look at this person and see they're right, look at yourself and see you're right, but understand that you being right doesn't mean the other person is wrong, and they being right doesn't mean you're wrong. You're just subjective. I guess it's what we'd call we agree to disagree. They're just opinions. And I was having a hard time evaluating opinion because after making my mindset a scientific one, I'm always looking for facts, even in emotions. Facts where facts don't exist. I find it hard to live in this state of limbo where I'm right and you're right, but we are saying different things. But that's the nature of an art student. They're able to put 100 perspective in their mind without saying this person is wrong and I'm right. They understand this is an opinion. As a science student, I find it very hard to work with opinions because I want you to give me facts. I want one statement that talks about everybody. I don't want a case where a billion people are saying different things and I can't correct them, they're right. That doesn't just work with me. It doesn't. But it's a skill. It's a talent. It's what it takes to maintain relationships and friendships and families. And that's why I think our students would generally be better at making friends. They would generally be better partners. They would generally be better bosses in the human resource department. They would generally be good at anywhere where they maybe the president or maybe the CEO, someone who needs to know how to deal with people, how to talk to investors, how just human connections. And I think science students are reduced to people in the back of the office just on their computer from morning to evening. Because all they know how to do is how to make the code work. They know how to make the computers talk, but they don't know how to talk. And I know it's widely known that science students are not very good in social things, but I think being able to know how to deal with people might be even more important than being able to know how to deal with computers or planes or cars or anything. And that's all I had for today. Thank you.